Problems on capacitor. Exercise problem number 2.5. A parallel plate capacitor with air between the plates has a capacitance of 8 picofarad. Pico means 10 to the power of minus 12. Nano means 10 to the power of minus 9. And micro means 10 to the power of minus 6, we know. So, this is a capacitor, air-filled capacitor, and its capacitance is 8. Air-filled capacitor, its capacitance 8 picofarad. What will be the capacitance if the distance between the plates is reduced by half and the space between them is filled with a substance of dielectric constant 6? So that means here we have to do two things. One, distance between the capacitor plates is now d. Now it should reduce it to d by 2. Now distance between them is d by 2. Second thing, I have to fill with a dielectric of dielectric constant k is equal to 6. Then what is its new capacitance? That is the question. Okay, we know capacitance C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Okay, see now new capacitance C dash is equal to, here air filled, so epsilon naught. Now it is filled with a dielectric constant K. So that's why this epsilon naught I will write it as a K epsilon naught because of the medium. And where A is the area of the plate, area of the plate information is not there, that means the area of the plate is remains constant. So it is A divided by. Distance between the plates is initially D, now finally it is D by 2. That means that is D by 2. So now C dash is equal to 2K into epsilon naught A by D. Epsilon naught A by D is C. So C dash is equal to 2KC. So C dash is equal to 2 times dielectric constant is 6. And the C value is given in the problem 8 picofarad. So that's why that is 8. So if you simplify, you will get 96 picofarad. Next problem, exercise problem number 2.6. 3 capacitors, each of capacitance 9 picofarad are connected in series. Okay, when first question is what is the total capacitance of the combination? And second one is what is the potential difference across the capacitor if the combination is connected to 120 volt supply. See, first we will connect capacitors in series. This is connected to 120 volt supply. This is 9 picofarad, 9 picofarad, 9 picofarad. We know in series combination, charge on each capacitor is same. Potential divides. Okay, that's why they have asked here what is the potential difference across each capacitor. Okay, first we need to calculate effective total capacitance. That means these 3 capacitors are going to replace with one single capacitor. That is a CS. We know formula for CS. CS is 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. Okay, we know even if the capacitors are identical, then formula is C by N. That means here capacitance of each capacitor is 9 picofarad. How many capacitors are connected like that? 3 capacitors. So divided by 3, you will get 3 picofarad is the effective capacitance. CS is 3 picofarad. Okay, that is the first one. Then we will see B part. What is the potential difference across the capacitor if the combination is connected to 120 volt supply? So, if you want V1, generally Q1 is equal to C1 V1. This we know. V1 means Q1 by C1. C1 I know, V1 I want. That means charge on this capacitor I have to calculate. See, in series combination, charge on each capacitor is same as total charge. So that's why I'll calculate charge by using formula Q is equal to CV. Q is total charge. So that means C, I should take total capacitance. Total capacitance is 3 picofarad. That is 3 into 10 to the power of minus 12 into V is total potential, that is 120 volt. 120. That means total charge is 120 into 3. 360 into 10 to the power of minus 12 coulombs. That means picocoulomb. Okay, when we know the charge, then I can calculate V1 by substituting 360 into 10 to the power of minus 12 divided by capacitance is 9 picofarad, 9 into 10 to the power of minus 12. These two cancel, 9 ones are 9 fours are 36, so 40. That means V1 is equal to 40 volts. Okay, that means here 40 volt will drop. V2 is equal to Q2 by C2. Q is same, C is same. Repeat this, you will get again 40 volts. Similarly, V3 is equal to Q3 by C3. Solve this, you will get again 40 volts. That means here 40, here 40, here also 40. Next problem, exercise 2.7. 3 capacitors of capacitance 2 picofarad, 3 picofarad and 4 picofarad are connected in parallel. Now we need to calculate what is the total capacitance of the combination. That means first we have to draw effective capacitance circuit diagram. This is 100 volt, this is C. Effective capacitance in parallel combination is Cp is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 we know. Cp is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 4, that is 9 picofarad. That means Cp is equal to 9 picofarad. In parallel combination, we know potential difference across each capacitor is same. That is equal to source potential difference. And in parallel combination, total charge flowing through the battery divides Q1, Q2, Q3. See here charges say plus Q1, plus Q2 and plus Q3. This is minus Q1, minus Q2, minus Q3. Charge is different on each capacitor. Here capacitors also different capacitors. So we need to calculate charge on the capacitor. For example, if you want to calculate charge on the first capacitor, then we should write Q1 is equal to C1 into V1. First capacitance I know, that is 2 picofarad. And potential difference across the first capacitor is same as the source. Here also potential drop is 100 volt. Here also 100 volt. Here also 100 volt. Charge means product of capacitance and potential drop. CV. Both I know. So I will substitute and I will calculate. So that is 2 pico means 2 into 10 to the power of minus 12 into 100. That means this is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 10 coulomb. So this is Q1. Similarly, you calculate Q2 and Q3. For example, Q2 is C2 into V2. Q2 is equal to C2 is 3 picofarad, 3 into 10 to the power of minus 12 and V2 is 100 volt. So 100. So answer is 3 into 10 to the power of minus 10 coulomb. Similarly Q3. Q3 is C3 V3. Q3 is equal to C3 is 4 picofarad. 4 into 10 to the power of minus 12 and potential drop is 100. So that's why this is 4 into 10 to the power of minus 10 coulomb. So this is Q3. If you want to calculate total charge is Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. That is here 2, this is 3 and this is 4. If we add, you will get 9. So 9 into 10 to the power of minus 10 coulomb is the total charge. Next problem, exercise problem number 2.8. In a parallel plate capacitor with air between the plates. Air means we have to take epsilon naught. Each plate has an area 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter square and the distance between the plates is 3 mm. Calculate the capacitance of the capacitor. If this capacitor is connected to 100 volt supply, what is the charge on each plate of the capacitor? That means I have to calculate two things. One, I have to calculate capacitance of the capacitor, and next I have to calculate charge on the capacitor. So capacitance of the capacitor, parallel plate capacitor, expression is C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Here why we have written epsilon naught A by D? Because air between the plates. We know the value of epsilon naught, that is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Actually 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value is 9 into 10 to the power of 9. If you want to calculate epsilon naught, 4 pi into 9 into 10 to the power of 9. If you simplify, you will get 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Okay. Unit for this is Newton meter square per coulomb square. So this is coulomb square Newton meter square. So epsilon naught value I have substituted here into area of each plate is given. Where A is area of one plate only. If both are identical, there is no ambiguity. We will take that area directly. 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Divided by distance between the plates is given 3 mm. I have to convert this one into SI system. That is 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay, simplify this one. C is equal to 3 ones are 3 twos are 10 power minus 3, 10 power minus 3 cancel. So 2 fives are 10, 2 8s is 16, 17. Point 16 1 17. 17.7 into 10 to the power of minus 12 farads. This we can write it as 17.7 picofarad. Okay, we have calculated capacitance. Now I need to calculate charge on each plate. Charge on each plate means we have to use formula Q is equal to CV only. Q is equal to CV. Q is equal to C, I know, that is 17.7 into 10 to the power of minus 12 farads. This capacitor is connected to 100 volt supply. When a capacitor is connected to 100 volt supply, it stores up to its potential. So 100 we have to take here. So 100. Then charge Q is equal to 17.7 into 10 to the power of minus 10 coulombs. Next problem, exercise problem number 2.9. We have to use the data of 2.8 and a 3 mm thick mica sheet were inserted between the plates. Okay, mica sheet is inserted. When mica sheet is inserted, that we know that is capacitance becomes Kc. Okay, but what is the first question? We will see in detail. While the voltage supply remains connected, this you see carefully. This is a capacitor of capacitance C. Okay, when it is connected to SL of V volts, it stores V voltage here. It stores Q charge here. It develops E electric field here. Now if we introduce a dielectric slab in the presence of the source, then see carefully here. charge initially is a Q naught, capacitance is a C naught, electric field is a E naught, potential is a V naught, energy is a U naught. All are initial energies before introducing this dielectric slab between the plates. Charge on the plate is Q naught, capacitance of the capacitor C naught, electric field between the plates is E naught, potential difference across the plates is V naught, and energy stored in the capacitor is U naught. Now we will see after introducing the dielectric slab. We have already know that when a dielectric slab is completely filled between the capacitor plates, its capacitance increases. So that means C dash is equal to Kc. Okay. See, when potential difference V is applied, originally actually here potential difference is the same potential difference will develop say V. When we introduce a dielectric slab between the capacitor plates, capacitance increases. So potential first decreases actually. Potential becomes V by K. Electric field becomes E naught by K. But if the potential decreases to V by K, now there is a potential difference between the source and the capacitor. So that's why further charge will flow from one plate to another plate until its potential becomes again V. Okay, this is very important. So that's why potential remains constant when cell is connected to the capacitor. When a dielectric slab is introduced, as long as cell is connected to the capacitor, whatever you do doesn't matter, potential difference is same. Because of some reason potential changes, then it will compensate that. So that's why here potential remains same in case of cell is connected to the capacitor. So potential remains the same. If potential remains the same, obviously electric field remains the same. E dash is equal to E naught, V naught, Kc naught. Okay. Charge, what happens to charge? Q dash is equal to, we can calculate Q is equal to CV, Q dash V dash, Q dash C dash V dash, Q dash is equal to C dash is Kc naught, V dash is V naught. That means this is Kq naught. So that's why charge increases by K times. Okay. Similarly, energy, U dash I have to calculate. U dash, see, energy stored in a capacitor, I know formula Q square by 2C or half CV square or QV by 2. So I'll use formula here half CV square, half C dash V dash square. Now half final capacitance is Kc, but final potential remains the same as the initial. So that's why this is C naught, this is V naught square. Half C naught V naught square can be written as U naught of CV square. So final energy increases by K times. Increases by K times. This is important. So we can calculate comfortably what is the final charge. Final charge on the capacitor when battery is still connected, when a dielectric slab is introduced, then Q dash is equal to KQ naught. Q dash is equal to K is mica sheet whose dielectric constant is 6. So 6 times the previous charge. Previous charge we got 7.7 into 10 to the power of minus 10 coulomb. If we multiply, you will get this answer. Okay, similarly, final capacitance C dash is equal to Kc So that's why 6 times RL 17.7 picofarad. If you simplify, you will get that answer. Just you simplify yourself. Similarly, potential. Potential remains the same, no? So V dash is equal to only V naught. That means that is 100 volt only. Similarly, you can calculate energy and electric field also if you know. So this is very important. When a capacitor is connected to a cell, in the presence of cell, if we introduce a dielectric slab, capacitance becomes Kc irrespective whether cell is there here or not, doesn't matter, capacitance becomes Kc. But the thing is, here we have to see very carefully. See, when a dielectric slab is introduced, capacitance increases means potential decreases. Okay, when potential decreases, see, still cell is connected. Cell have a capacity to store charge on this capacitor up to its potential. So V by K becomes V after some time. That means charge flows from one plate to another plate. That means charge on the capacitor plates increases. So that's why when a dielectric slab is introduced in the presence of the cell, charge becomes KQ and capacitance becomes Kc. Kc is irrespective whether cell is there or not, doesn't matter. If we introduce a dielectric slab completely between the plates of the capacitor, capacitance becomes Kc. But potential remains same, electric field remains same, and energy increases by K times. This is important key points you have to analyze. Part B, after the supply was disconnected. That means when a dielectric slab is introduced, otherwise, cut. Part B, after the supply was disconnected. For example, a capacitor is already charged to a potential V. So initial potential say V naught, initial capacitance C naught, charge on the plate is say Q naught. We have stored already this capacitor and have disconnected the source. Supply was disconnected, cell is disconnected. Okay, that means charge Q is equal to Q naught, capacitance C is equal to C naught, electric field E is equal to E naught, potential V is equal to V naught, energy is say U naught. This is initial parameters of this capacitor. Now if I introduce a dielectric slab of dielectric constant K in the absence of the external source, what will happen? Capacitance, I have told, blindly it increases to Kc, Kc naught. Okay, but here you see carefully. When capacitance increases by K times, potential decreases by K times. Okay, to increase this potential, cell is not there. Moreover, no external source is present to transfer charge from one plate to another plate. That means in the absence of cell, if we introduce a dielectric slab between the capacitor plates, charge remains constant. That means Q dash is equal to Q naught. If Q remains the same, capacitance increases, Q is equal to CV. If Q is Q, this is Kc and this is V dash. So V dash becomes V by Q only, V by K only, no? Okay, so that's why potential decreases by K times. Potential V dash is equal to V naught by K. Okay, if you use expression E is equal to V by D, you will get E dash is equal to E naught by K. Okay, now energy U dash. See, energy U is equal to half into C naught V naught square is the initial energy, and final energy is say half into C dash V dash square. So U dash is equal to half into C dash is Kc naught. Okay, V dash is V naught by K. That means V square by K square. 1K gets cancels out. Half C naught V naught square can be written as U naught. So U dash is equal to U naught by K. Energy decreases by K times. Okay, this is very important. This is how charge, capacitance and field and potential and energy will change by introducing a dielectric slab in the absence of external source, in the absence of battery. Okay, these are very two important points. In the presence of cell, how the effect of dielectric, and in the absence of cell, how the effect of dielectric will play on capacitor. Okay, so second one we'll solve. So in the absence of supply, charge remains the same, Q dash is equal to Q, that is 17.7 into 10 to the power of minus 10 coulomb. Capacitance C dash is equal to Kc, that means 6 times 17.7 picofarad. And potential difference across the plates V dash is equal to V by K, that means that is 100 by 6. You calculate how much you'll get, that is the answer. This is how we'll calculate. Next problem, exercise problem number 2.10. A 12 picofarad capacitor is connected to 50 volt battery. How much electrostatic energy is stored in the capacitor? We know expression for energy stored in a capacitor, that is Q square by 2C or half CV square or QV by 2. So based on the data, I have to select formula. Here I know capacitor, so, and I know potential difference. That means we need an expression containing capacitance and potential. That means I have to select this. So U is equal to half CV square. So U is equal to half into capacitance is 12 picofarad, 12 into 10 to the power of minus 12, and potential difference is 50. 50 square, 50 whole square, that I can write 2500. Okay, now 25 6 150. Okay, here this is 10 power 2 cancels here, then into 10 power minus 10 joules will get. So this is the energy stored in a capacitor. Last problem, exercise problem number 2.11. A 600 picofarad capacitor is charged by 200 volt supply. That means a capacitor of 600 picofarad is charged with 200 volt cell. So potential difference across the plates is 200 volt. It is then disconnected from the supply. So source is disconnected and is connected to another uncharged 600 picofarad capacitor. How much electrostatic energy is lost in this process? So that means when this capacitor is stored with 200 volts capacitance, then first what I do, I will calculate its energy. Initial energy is half CV square, that is half C value is 600 into 10 to the power of minus 12 and V square is 200 volt whole square, that means 40,000. This is the initial energy. Initial energy I will get somewhere 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cancel, minus 6. 2 1s are 2 2s are 6 2s are 12. So 12 into 10 to the power of minus 6 joule. This I can write it as 12 microjoules. This much amount of initial energy present on this capacitor. Now this capacitor is connected to another identical 600 picofarad capacitor, but that 600 microfarad capacitor is uncharged. Uncharged means here charge is 0 as well as potential also 0 volts. Okay, now we are connecting these two. See, here potential is 200 volt, here potential is 0. So charge flows from higher potential to lower potential. How long charge flows? We know it flows up equal potential. Charge will flow until their potentials becomes equal. That means common potential they should acquire. So I'll write here expression for common potential. Common potential. See, when you connect two capacitors or three capacitors or four capacitors, doesn't matter, if you connect like this, they'll acquire common potential. Okay, common potential formula is, basic formula is, we know V is equal to Q by C. That's why charge on the first capacitor plus charge on the second capacitor divided by C1 plus C2. This is the basic expression for common potential. If we have three capacitors, Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 by C1 plus C2 plus C3. Okay, but we know Q is CV. So Q1 can be written as C1 V1, Q2 is C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. This is an expression for common potential. So when these two are connected, then I will calculate common potential. Common potential C1 600 picofarad. Okay, this I will convert into better in farads. 600 into 10 to the power of minus 12. V1 means 200 volts plus C2 means again 600 picofarad. 600 into 10 to the power of minus 12, and V2 is 0 potential, divided by, this is 600, this is 600, total 1200 picofarad, 10 to the power of minus 12. So common potential, I will get, this term is 0 and this term is left for me. So that is 600 into 10 to the power of minus 12 into 200 divided by 1200 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Minus 12 cancel. 600 cancels this one 2 times. 200 cancels this one 100 times. That means common potential is 100 volt. That means after some time, these two capacitors will acquire 100 volt potential difference. This is 600 picofarad. This is also 600 picofarad. Okay, if you want to calculate charge on this capacitor, Q is equal to CV. C and V, if you multiply, you will get the answer. (12 into 10 to the power of minus 8 coulomb). This is the charge on this plate before connecting to this capacitor. Okay. Now if you want to calculate charge on this capacitor, that is 6 into 100, that's it, 600 into 100. You multiply, you will get charge on this. That means the charge flows from this plate to this plate. Here you have to understand, if it is a positively charged plate, this will get positive charge. This is negative charged plate, negative charge will acquire. Okay. For example, if the second capacitor is not uncharged, if it have charge, then obviously here Q2 is not 0, here voltage is not 0, you will get something else value. Moreover, you have to understand, this is important. If positive plate of the capacitor is connected to negative plate, for example, if both the capacitors have charged, positive plate of the capacitor connected to negative plate, then total charge becomes Q1 is positive, Q2 is negative, then you will get here Q1 minus Q2. But whereas in denominator you won't get that minus, C1 plus C2 only. Only numerator, common potential, when unlike plates are connected, then formula is Q1 minus Q2 by C1 plus C2. C1 V1 minus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. This is very important point. Which plates are connected is very important. Here uncharged, there is no ambiguity at all, Q2 is 0. Okay. So now I will calculate the final energy of these capacitors. final energy of this capacitor and final energy of this capacitor I'll calculate and I'll add, because energy is a scalar quantity. So final energy is half CV square for this, that is 600 into 10 to the power of minus 12 into 10,000, 100 into 100. This is also identical capacitor, same energy will be there, so that's why into 2 times. This one will get cancels out, and final energy will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cancels this minus 6 times. That means 6 into 10 to the power of minus 6 joule. This can be written as 6 microjoules. Okay, initial energy is 12 microjoule and final energy of the system is 6 microjoule. Here final energy is lesser than the initial energy. That means when charge is flowing from one capacitor to another capacitor, usually energy will lose, because charge should flow against to electrostatic repulsion. So energy will be lost. Loss in energy. Loss in energy. See here, change in energy means final energy minus initial energy, that you will get change. Okay, but we are calculating loss. We are knowing that final energy is lesser than the initial energy. So loss in energy, when you are calculating, that will calculate from initial energy minus final energy. Okay, difference in energy means final minus initial only. So 12 microjoule minus 6 microjoule, you will get 6 microjoule. This much amount of energy is lost due to transfer of charge. For example, if these two capacitors have same potential difference, there is no flow of charge from one capacitor plate to other capacitor plate, so there is no loss in energy. So when there is a potential difference, then charge flows from higher potential to lower potential. Definitely energy will be lost in this process always. Only in one situation we should not lose energy, where potential of two bodies are same. If we connect, then charge does not flow. When there is no flow of charge from one body to another body, then energy loss will not happen.